Harbor Freight makes a lot of people believe that just walking through the door means saving money. But the reality behind the scenes isn't that simple. There are shopping tactics that, if you don't understand them, can actually make you spend more, while still thinking you got a great deal. What's important to know is that these details aren't openly explained. They're the kind of things only people on the inside truly understand about how the store operates. This video breaks down what Harbor Freight doesn't actively tell customers, so you'll know when it actually makes sense to buy, when it's better to walk away, and how to avoid turning cheap prices into a trap that costs you more in the long run. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. The deep discount coupon strategy. One of the most effective ways Harbor Freight keeps customers coming back is through deep discount coupons. But not everyone receives the same offers. Many shoppers think coupons are random rewards, but in reality, they're sent out based on your shopping behavior. How often you buy, how long it's been since your last visit, and even which items you've looked at but didn't purchase, all of that gets tracked by the system. What many customers eventually notice is this: the best coupons often show up when you stop shopping for a while. When Harbor Freight sees that you've gone quiet, they treat you as a customer who might be drifting away. That's when the biggest discounts get sent out to pull you back in. That's why one person might receive a 25% off coupon while another gets nothing, even if the second person shops there more often. Coupons also have a strong psychological effect. When an offer has an expiration date, many people buy immediately out of fear of missing out, even if they don't truly need the item. At that point, the coupon isn't helping you save money, it's pushing you to buy faster. Harbor Freight isn't just discounting products, they're influencing when you open your wallet. Understanding this gives you more control. Don't let a coupon make decisions for you. Buy only when you actually need something. Wait for the right deal. And remember, just because you have a coupon doesn't mean you have to use it. 2. Private label brands and the good, better, best strategy. Many shoppers walk into Harbor Freight thinking they're choosing between a wide range of different brands. In reality, most of the names you see on the shelves are private labels owned by Harbor Freight itself. They don't represent different manufacturers. They're created to help shoppers distinguish price levels and perceived quality, not different sources. Harbor Freight uses a very common retail approach known as the good, better, best strategy. Simply put, products are divided into 3 tiers. The lowest tier includes the cheapest tools, good enough for basic needs or short-term use. The middle tier offers better quality at a slightly higher price, aimed at people who use their tools more regularly. The top tier is marketed as more durable, better finished, and designed for customers who are willing to pay extra for peace of mind. This strategy allows Harbor Freight to keep every type of customer in the store. Someone who just needs a tool for one job has an option. Someone looking for something more reliable can upgrade without going elsewhere. The problem is that if you don't understand this system, it's easy to buy with the wrong expectations, assuming all the tools are essentially the same and only the names are different. 3. Lifetime warranty on hand tools. One of the main reasons many people keep coming back to Harbor Freight is the lifetime warranty on hand tools. For items like wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, and socket sets, this policy creates a strong sense of reassurance. If it breaks, you bring it in and get it replaced. No long explanations required. At a time when many major brands have tightened or completely dropped lifetime warranties, this stands out as a clear advantage and helps Harbor Freight win over everyday customers. What matters is understanding what this lifetime warranty is actually meant to do. It doesn't mean every tool is flawless or will never fail. On the contrary, Harbor Freight openly accepts that some hand tools will wear out or break over time. Instead of arguing about fault or misuse, they choose a simple solution: replace the tool and keep the customer coming back. For frequent users, especially DIYers or part-time tradespeople, this is a very practical form of protection. That said, a lifetime warranty can also make shoppers careless when choosing tools. Many people think, "It's cheap, I'll just buy it. If it breaks, I'll replace it. And forget about the time, effort, and work disruption involved in making repeated trips back to the store. A warranty reduces risk, but it doesn't replace the value of choosing the right tool from the start. 4. How to read reviews without buying the wrong tool. Before buying a higher-priced item at Harbor Freight, knowing how to read reviews properly is just as important as the price itself. Many shoppers rely only on the average star rating, but that approach can easily lead to bad decisions. A 4-star product isn't automatically right for your needs, and a 3-star item isn't necessarily bad if you understand why it received lower ratings. The first step is to read the 1- and 2-star reviews. These usually reveal the most useful details: what fails, how long the product lasts before problems appear, and whether those issues are common or just isolated cases. If many reviewers report the same problem, that's a clear warning sign. On the other hand, if low ratings come from misuse or unrealistic expectations, those reviews may be less relevant. Next, pay attention to who is leaving the review. Feedback from tradespeople, long-term users, or serious DIYers tends to be more reliable than short comments like, "Just bought it, seems fine." Experiences after several months of use are often far more valuable than first impressions right out of the box. Finally, look at the distribution of ratings, not just the average. A product with many 5-star reviews, but also a large number of very negative ones, often carries hidden risk. 5. Should you buy the extended warranty? When purchasing higher value items at Harbor Freight, you're often asked the same familiar question: do you want the extended warranty? Many shoppers say yes, thinking that paying a little extra just to be safe makes sense. In reality, extended warranties don't always deliver the value people expect. For many products, especially those used only occasionally, the chance of failure in the short term is relatively low. In those cases, the cost of the extended warranty often becomes an unnecessary extra expense. On top of that, many customers forget they even purchased the coverage or don't want the hassle of returning to the store when something goes wrong, which means the benefit goes unused. That said, extended warranties do have situations where they're worth considering. Their biggest advantage is convenience. Instead of shipping an item out for repair or waiting weeks for service, you can usually walk into the store and get a replacement on the spot. For tools or equipment that see frequent use and heavy wear, that convenience can sometimes be worth more than the extra money spent up front. 6. Insider buying tips from Harbor Freight employees. One of the biggest advantages of shopping at Harbor Freight is access to insider tips that employees understand well, but rarely say out loud. In reality, not every in-store policy is as rigid as it looks on paper. Employees are often given a certain level of flexibility to help customers, especially in reasonable situations. The most important factor isn't some complicated trick. It's how you interact with the staff. When you're polite, patient, and clear about what you need, your chances of getting help increase significantly. There are cases where employees are willing to waive a restocking fee, allow a slightly late return, or point you toward more cost-effective options you may not have noticed. These things are rarely posted on signs, but they happen quite often behind the counter. Another useful tip is simply not being afraid to ask. For open box items or floor models, prices are often negotiable. If you see a product with multiple price stickers layered on top of each other, that's usually a sign it has already been marked down several times and the store wants it gone. Politely asking, "Is there any additional discount on this?" can sometimes lead to a surprising result. Like the video if this surprised you. 7. Buying without paying sales tax. Not everyone realizes that in certain situations, you can shop at Harbor Freight without paying sales tax. This doesn't apply to everyone, but for those who qualify, the savings can add up over time, especially if you buy tools frequently or purchase higher-priced items. In general, Harbor Freight allows tax-exempt purchases based on state law. If you represent a sales tax-exempt organization, such as a government agency, school, nonprofit organization, or a qualifying business, you can register your tax-exempt status with them. Once approved, the system will automatically remove sales tax from your receipt at checkout. In addition, some states offer sales tax exemptions to specific groups or for certain types of transactions. This isn't something Harbor Freight invents. They're simply following local tax laws. As a result, two people can buy the exact same item and one pays tax while the other doesn't, completely legally. The key issue is that many customers never ask, so they never realize this savings is even available. 8. Decoding price tag colors in the store. When walking into Harbor Freight, many shoppers focus only on the number printed on the price tag and overlook something even more important: the color of the tag. In reality, tag colors are the store's way of signaling the true status of a product. If you don't know how to read them, it's easy to miss opportunities or buy at the wrong time. White tags indicate regular pricing. There's nothing special here, and it's usually not the best time to buy unless you need the item immediately. Yellow tags signal a short-term sale. These promotions often come back around, so there's usually no need to rush if the item isn't urgent. The most important color to watch for is orange. Orange tags mean clearance, the lowest price that item is likely to reach. Once an item is marked with an orange tag, no additional coupons or discounts will apply. If you need that specific product and see an orange tag, it's usually the right time to buy, because further price drops are unlikely. Purple tags are typically used for open box items or returned merchandise. These products may have multiple stickers layered on top of each other, showing they've been marked down several times. This is the category where negotiation is most possible, especially if the item has been sitting on the shelf for a while. 9. Clearance and open box items are negotiable. Not every price at Harbor Freight is truly final, especially when it comes to clearance and open box items. These are products the store wants to move quickly to free up shelf space, so there's often far more flexibility compared to brand new sealed items. If you know how to approach it, negotiating is absolutely possible. With clearance items, prices are already deeply discounted, often the lowest they've ever been. Still, if there are only a few units left, the box is damaged, or the item has been sitting on the shelf for a long time, it doesn't hurt to ask. The key is your approach. Instead of demanding a discount, explain your reasoning. Damaged packaging, missing accessories, or hesitation between different options. In many cases, employees have the authority to take a little more off to close the sale. 10. Employees have more flexibility than you think. One detail many shoppers overlook at Harbor Freight is how much flexibility store employees actually have. Not every situation is locked into rigid rules. In real-world scenarios, employees are often allowed to handle gray area cases to keep transactions smooth, as long as it's reasonable and not abused. This flexibility shows up most clearly with late returns, waived restocking fees, or price adjustments on open box items. If you run into a small issue with timing or paperwork, your attitude and how you explain the situation often determine the result. When customers communicate clearly, stay polite, and don't apply pressure, employees are more likely to look for a solution instead of shutting things down immediately. It's important to remember that employees don't make the rules, but they do have limited authority to apply them. No one wants to break policy, but they can often offer a compromise that works for both sides. On the other hand, if a customer becomes demanding or confrontational, that flexibility usually disappears right away. 11. The conditional price match policy. Many people hear about price matching at Harbor Freight and assume that finding a lower price elsewhere automatically means they'll get the adjustment. In reality, the policy comes with conditions, and if you don't understand them, it's easy to feel disappointed at the checkout counter. Harbor Freight does offer price matching, but not on everything in the store. The main reason is that most of Harbor Freight's products are private label brands. The familiar names on the shelves are sold exclusively there, which means there's no direct competitor selling the exact same item. When an identical product doesn't exist elsewhere, price matching simply can't apply. This is something many shoppers don't realize, leading them to think the store is not honoring its policy. 12. The best times of the year to buy. If you shop at Harbor Freight long enough, one thing becomes very clear. It's not always smart to buy right away. Low prices are part of their identity, but the lowest prices only show up at very specific times of the year. Knowing when to buy can save you far more than chasing random coupons. In practice, Harbor Freight concentrates its strongest deals around major U.S. holidays. Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Labor Day, Black Friday, and Father's Day almost always come with the deepest discounts of the year. These are periods when the store needs to move inventory quickly, clear out stock, and attract heavy foot traffic, so the discounts tend to be more genuine and less inflated compared to regular promotions. Beyond holidays, end-of-season timing also matters. Seasonal tools like pressure washers, small generators, gardening equipment, or industrial fans are often heavily discounted when demand is about to drop. If you don't need the item immediately, buying at this point can lead to significant savings while still giving you a perfectly usable tool for the next season. 13. The controversy around buy, use, return. One of the biggest controversies surrounding Harbor Freight is the practice of buying a tool, using it, and then returning it. To some people, this is seen as dishonest, taking advantage of the return policy to rent tools for free on short-term projects. To others, it's viewed as fair game. If the store allows it, then there's nothing wrong with using the policy as written. This difference in perspective has fueled ongoing debate. The reality is that Harbor Freight is well aware this happens. They track returned items, usage time, and how often individual customers return products. The fact that returns are still allowed shows the company has already weighed the costs and benefits. Some items are resold as open box, some are subject to restocking fees, and others are treated as an accepted cost of maintaining a flexible, customer-friendly policy for honest shoppers. The key issue is separating legitimate consumer rights from abusing the system. When buy-use return behavior becomes widespread, the impact goes beyond the store itself. Policies may become stricter, prices may rise, and ultimately serious, honest customers end up paying the price. This is why many people in the industry discourage the practice, even though it still exists. 14. Rising theft inside stores. Recently, theft at Harbor Freight locations has increased noticeably, and this has become a bigger concern for many in the industry than returns. These are no longer just small, isolated incidents. In many cases, theft is organized and targeted, focusing on small, high-value tools that are easy to resell. When this happens frequently, the consequences don't stop at the store level. They affect everyday customers as well. For Harbor Freight, each theft isn't just lost merchandise. It also brings added costs for security, insurance, and changes to store layouts. Some locations have started locking items in glass cases, adding anti-theft devices, or redesigning aisles to improve control. Unfortunately, these measures often make the shopping experience less convenient, especially for honest customers who just want to browse and buy quickly. The next consequence is that these costs get passed back to shoppers. As shrinkage increases, stores have to make up for it in other ways: higher prices, tighter policies, or reduced flexibility. These changes are rarely explained clearly, leaving customers feeling more restricted, even when they've done nothing wrong. The most important takeaway is this: low prices only truly matter when you buy the right way. Understanding how Harbor Freight operates helps you avoid emotional purchases and avoid confusing cheap with worth buying. Read price tags carefully, choose the right timing, ask the right people, and buy based on real needs. When you're an informed shopper, you don't just save money, you also avoid unnecessary risks in a shopping environment where policies and conditions are constantly changing. Which tip from the video surprised you the most?